Welcome back to another episode of Quarter Horse Customs. Today we have our 1984 Foxbody Mustang GT. This is supposed to be my show car, cruiser car, whatever you want to call it. However, the wife has manipulated me into making her think, by her making me think it was my idea, but it was really her idea. But the way she did it made me think I was right and it was a good idea, so that way I would do it for her. We're getting ready to put the 387 stroker that we originally had in the Reaper Stang that's just been sitting to the side. 387 is going to go in this car. However, before we get there, there are quite a few upgrades we need to do. Basically, if you get a Foxbody and you need to upgrade your car, these are the things we got to do to make it fit. First off, we're going to start with subframe connectors. So we have BBK grip subframe connectors. However, I've had these, I think for, how long have I had you? Yeah, I think I bought them the same week I bought the car. Just haven't put them in yet. We've only had a 306 and a 289 currently in the car, but these need to make it in the car. They're supposed to be the bolt end, but I think we're going to go ahead and just weld it in. It is able to do that, but it does have the seat brackets, so that's got to go in. But before we can get there, I got to get exhaust pulled. I got to move fuel lines, and then I got to clean and prep for the welding. I have some weld through primer I got from Napa. So we're just gonna jump in this. Exhaust out. For the exhaust on this car, we're running the Flow Monster knockoff version of a Flow Master. It's supposed to be equivalent of the 40 chamber, but it does sound pretty good. However, it gave me the wrong offset, so this car just has dumps. So for some of those who don't know, a Foxbody is a unibody. And one of the very poor things they did is your subframe connects here to the floor pan, up into your K-member and your frame rail for the front of the car. And then there's nothing throughout here besides floor pan until you get back here, and then you have your rear frame, which has, you know, your lower torque box, your upper torque box mounting. You know, when you're giving these cars all this power, it's got to go through that empty void of frame rail, which is just through the floor pan, and these floor pans. I got, when I did Project Apocalypse, a filing cabinet and floor pan metal side by side. Everybody thought the filing cabinet was the floor pan. So what you do is tie these two frame rails together with a subframe connector, like this one here. So this now takes the force and actually connects it as if it was one frame all the way through the car. This one does have the seat brackets. It looks like I'm gonna have to move my fuel line. That's going to have to come out anyway because this will probably end up being my return line, actually. We're going to go to steel braided, not the nylon coated. So let me get this fuel line out of the way and then we'll mark out where we need to clean up. Looks like it's going to be right back here and just a little spot up here, but I really don't want to weld anywhere near that fuel line. All right, get this fuel line out of the way. Man, I think I forgot to put stable in this car. This gas is stinky. It'll mow the lawn. Heat shield for around exhaust. Alright, so we've got everything out of the way now, except for everything I forgot, which actually isn't much. So we can go ahead and get this guy up here. This 4-post lift is nice, but he's awfully narrow. Alright, I think that's where it's going to sit. Also, I do have the car down on all 4 tires. They're all aired up the same pressure, so the car's sitting as level as possible. Motor's in, transmission's in. Literally the only thing that's not in the car now is the exhaust, but that should be fine. I got this lift that we're using right now off my buddy Wheeler. We traded some Foxbody parts and they wouldn't fit in his shop, and I was like, you know what? The guy needs a 4-post lift, help set pinion angles, and apparently do subframe connectors, and my 2-post lift for some reason is always occupied with the race car. Why is that Mr. T5 running Project Apocalypse? Anyway, now we're gonna have this car running a T5 and a 387 stroker. So I'm gonna need another lift for this to live on. Okay, back to what we're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and mark out where these are gonna sit. we'll go ahead and get them marked, cleaned up. We'll spray paint it, and then while this side's drying, I'll go do that side. We'll paint it with the underset, with the weld through primer, and then we'll come back over here and we'll weld this side up. So, anybody bring any? Well, I mean, I guess it's dirty down here, so I can just kind of go, woo! Tracing in the oil. Basically all that. Basically all this. Definitely around the front here. Right here, right there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go with the wire wheel. I'm not gonna have the camera anywhere near that because I'm not replacing this lens. So I'll get this wire wheeled up real quick, strip it down to bare metal, and I'll bring you guys back for paint. Alrighty, so I got this area all prepped up. I went a little more than I should have just to make sure we had clearance. Basically, I grind down on here. We're gonna weld this, try to get as much up here. Probably do some plug welds. And the same with back here. We'll weld up back here and over. Got to work on some undercoating. The old stuff's peeling off after so many years. And this side's all prepped up. This side's still drying. Same thing though. Get it all welded up. I'm gonna have to redo this brake line because this is unsatisfactory. These hangers are gonna come out. And then we will have to address this rear suspension. It needs cleaned up. But we'll get to that in a second. After we get these guys welded in, we got to take the engine and transmission out. But right now, I'm going to go get the welder, weld this all up. That way I'll finally have done the thing that I was supposed to do the second week I bought the car. Alrighty, first subframe connector is welded in. I did some plug welds, welded up all around the edges. Seat brackets are going to line up. All welded up around the back. Welded up front. Welded all the way around in the back. I had some issues here. There was a slight gap, but I think it'll do what we needed to do. Now I just gotta get over here and get this side done. Once I get that side done, the easy part starts. And that's just pull the rest of the exhaust, pull the 289 out, drive shaft, T5, get that all ready to go, get the engine bay all cleaned up, and then we can get the 387 thrown together. I need a couple pieces off the 289 like the valve covers. And then we can start test fitting, see if we need to do anything else. So I'm gonna get this other side welded up. I'll see you back when we start pulling out the exhaust. All right, we're back. I had to make a detour. I had to go to pick up a vehicle. Next, I think we're gonna go ahead. Now the subframe connectors are in. Everything's good. Questionable welding skills. I wanna go ahead and get the header X, oh, wait. This looks like an H-pipe. Hopefully we can reuse this H-pipe with a 351 Windsor. Hopefully all I have to do is modify up here and then maybe make a wider down there. We'll see. So get this out of the way, start getting the transmission out of the way, and I can get the motor out of here. And then we can start seeing if the 387 even fits under my hood. All right. H-pipe out. All right. We're gonna pull the drive shaft out. Yes. Wait a minute. Where's the drive shaft safety loop?
This is not a race car. Yeah.
It's gonna be a race car though?
No.
What are we doing this for?
Low power.
Isn't that supposed to leak?
Yeah.
Huh. What's it mean when it doesn't?
Hey, it's not leaking, so I think I got nothing in it.
Oh, that's great. Gotta go get another shot. Wait, hold up. 17, 19. 19 is the same as a 3/4. See what happened? What happened with this bell housing is the bolts got stripped, and we're using the spacer plate right here. So I epoxied bolts in from this way, so it like lagged. We went onto the bolts, unlike the regular where it goes from the back. So it has really big nuts, and there's not a lot of room. So hopefully I can get these off. This is just my, oh shit, bell housing. Well, that ain't gonna work. What are you even trying to do that for? See? Big 19mm nuts. Unlike the, I think they're supposed to be 5/8 or 16mm, so you know you'd have a little more room with the proper equipment. These Fox bell housings are pretty hard to find.
Okay, what do you need me to do?
Catch.
Okay.
So I need you to, like, and then I,
Okay.
done. Peach? Make sense?
Good.
Questions, concerns, comments?
Not really.
Cool. Cool. T5 is out. Oh man, this doesn't have an adjustable clutch cable.
Nope.
I need the clutch tool.
Yeah, that's why we made it.
Son of a biscuit. Anybody know where that's at?
Nope.
What you looking at?
Just looking at this. I was like, why is it bent out? It looks like it was welded.
Oh yeah, that was the one that was the clearance make it fit. It's oily. Hello! Let me see if the radio works. Not getting any channels. I think it might have something to do with
What the
the
fuck is this?
speedo cable that broke.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done, right? That's it?
Technically, no, because you have to move this first.
Alright. Where's the maker? See, now I can stand under here. This ain't bad.
You weren't such a fucking giraffe.
Wonder what that means. Alright, good news. I figured it out. I can use the pry bar in this position against the shift fork, push it, and release the cable. Release the cable. Release the cable. And the cable's unhooked. If you're in a pinch, the pry bar will work. Ugh, don't taste very good. Covered in oil. Alright, now the cable's undone. I can take the 6 bolts of the bell housing out, get that ground that's up there. This will be off. Then all we should have to do is go up top and unhook the coil wire, fuel line. Nope, fuel line is going to be already disconnected. Yeah, starter stuff. Oh, I gotta take the starter out while I'm down here. This whole not having a tubular K member is throwing me off. This is what I mean by it's a one-of-a-kind bell housing. We made studs. Have them epoxied in there from the inside because we had them stripped out. So you don't have to get rid of your bell housing. Oh god, that's a lot of oil in there. And it's not coming from this. Oh yeah, this was off that junk motor, wasn't it? The 331 stroker, that was just a 306. Alright, how's this clutch? Nope. Nope. That ain't being reused. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the motor mounts now. Should stay just sitting here. Then I can bring it down and then start fiddling with anything up top. Shouldn't be a whole lot. Should be able just to hook up and yank this puppy out. Probably got a couple sensors at most. Oil pressure. Yeah. All right. I should probably start gathering up my tools. I guess they're on the catch-all. I'll bring you guys over. I'll bring you guys back when we're topside. All right, we're up top. Got the spark plug wires unhooked. Looks like we got a couple zip ties to undo. Oil PSI, a coolant sensor. We got a vacuum booster to unhook, throttle cable to undo, radiator out. Alright, I think we'll start with the radiator, get it on the way, we'll dig our way. Oh, power steering lines, because this car's got power of steering.
What is that?
What?
Power steering.
I don't know. Something that like makes it so you're not like, "Hiya!" when you turn. This radiator and fan setup is getting an upgrade. Oh cool, that was holding the motor. That's definitely not what we wanted to be doing. That's fine. We'll be upgrading the radiator, we'll be upgrading the motor, we'll be upgrading the brakes to manual setup with a line lock, we'll be upgrading the MSD box. Hopefully the battery still fits. Oh, we'll be upgrading the fuel system. Alright, first we gotta take the carburetor off. It is in the way. Can't get that bolt brake free. This, we did not spend the money. We found this carburetor for I think 200 bucks on Marketplace. Says it was brand newish. Couldn't get it to run right. I noticed that the accelerator has 30 million miles of play. So that could be a problem. And then I took it apart and there's no freaking jets. So that might have been the problem. And all the gaskets are torn. So we'll get it rebuilt. I threw it together just quickly to see if we could move the car, and it moved the car, so. It's a brawler, 750, so it'll be good for the 387. Alrighty, it's finally time to see everything I forgot to disconnect. Yay!
I don't know, I think it'd be a ground panel. You just have to motor mount and stuff?
What?
Motor mount?
Yep, sir. I'm done. Hey! 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 Hey!
It's already done.
Yeah, but that was a lot of water, not a lot of antifreeze. Hey! How are you? Seriously? Fucking devil! Alright, so far everything's looking good. Just gotta get the hood up a little higher. Heater hoses, oh, we're just sitting on them, it's fine. Oh! Not used to having these big clutch fans on here anymore.
These things are tiny. Test them out once.
Come on!
You fucking serious? Take a little more. Just the fucking hair. There you go. Down she goes.
Alrighty, 289 is out. Red car is open. All we gotta do is get some pieces we need off this, valve covers, etc. Then we'll throw it on the 387 back there. And then we can start test fitting with motor mounts and such to see if we're even gonna fit with the hood. But that's gonna be on the next video. So stay tuned and we'll see if we can get the 387 to fit in here with the stock hood and all that good stuff. We are in a good position to start the swap. See you guys next time.